Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Happy Love Month. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about a few lessons that I've learned when it comes to love. Given, all of the relationships I've been in and all the experiences I've had with love, I decided why not kind of compile this and make a video all about the different lessons that I've learned when it comes to love, coming into my 27th year of life now. So the first half of this video is going to be the 10 lessons that I've learned on love, and the second half is going to be kind of like the more spicy gossip on like my life, what's going on in it, etc. The whole thing. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, February and Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. I know, it's literally so much fun. Like, I feel like everything to do with like flowers and like hearts and like love and like romance is so up my alley. And most of the videos in February are going to be centered around love for yourself, love for other people, romantic relationships, all of the above. But today's video, I'm really going to be diving into 10 lessons that I learned about love and just the things that I feel like we kind of need to know as a society about love. So if you're interested, grab a cute drink. We're doing this like, I think it's a raspberry lemonade kind of a tea thing today. I thought it matched the dress, so we're just going to go with that. But grab a cute drink and let's chat all throughout this video. Number one, dating app dilemmas. Okay, so we live in a day and age where pretty much everything is done virtually. Dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, is it like OkCupid? And like all those dating apps, Tinder. How could I forget Tinder? All of our dating apps that we have kind of in society right now are what a lot of us use to like get to know people and like be in relationships and things like that. I have had some strange experiences on dating apps, to be honest. Like I had Tinder a few years ago prior to my really long-term relationship. And then after that, I kind of had a period of healing. And then I was on Hinge for a little bit. I think I deleted Hinge like 3 times in total. And here's what I have to say about dating apps. It can get very overwhelming to see the amount of people on these dating apps because it's like, you just swipe. You quite literally just like see a person. It's kind of a skeleton of a person. So like a ton of their pictures and like brief little information about each person. And then you swipe to like them or dislike them or whatever. But the truth of it is there's just so much going on these apps that you really can't tell like who to invest time and energy in and who not to. Based on my previous experiences using Hinge, honestly, it came to a point where I felt so overwhelmed with the platform. Like I was like, I don't know who to pick. I don't know who I'm talking to. Some of the people I'd have conversations with, I'd be like, okay, wait, who did I say this to? And who did I say that to? And like responding to people and like the way that these kind of connections can be so shallow and like surface level really honestly turned me off at one point because I was like, there's no connection here. Like there's no really meeting someone and getting to know them and getting to understand them. I think it is a convenient way to maybe like meet people, but in terms of like developing connections, I really think it's hard because we have to understand like these apps are so easy to download. Like it's so easy to download the app and see a variety of people and just kind of go through people. But the reality of it is each person is their individual. They have things about them. They have like good things and bad things and all these things to know about them. And it's like when it becomes this buffet of people, it gets really hard sometimes to not feel overwhelmed by the process and also to go in a scarcity mindset. I highly recommend if you are doing the dating apps to please allow yourself time to cool off and just like take some time off the dating app. Pause it for a little bit because the truth of it is you can get into the scarcity mindset so easily when it comes to being on dating apps, especially if you've been on for quite a little bit of time and you're not getting any progress with it. You'll kind of be in that mindset of like, is my person really out there? Like I'm on this app. There's so many people on this app. Is my person really out there? And like, should I look elsewhere? Should I try to like meet people organically? Personally, for me, I think meeting people organically is a wonderful way to do it, but the apps are also very convenient. You never really know with the world, like your person could be on an app or it could be in person. So just allow yourself to kind of experience both of it and see what works for you. I also understand that if you meet someone on a dating app and like you connect with that person, it's gonna take time for you to get to know that person. It's not gonna be something where you meet them and it's like instantaneous love and like da-da-da. No, like that stuff takes time. So give yourself the time and give yourself the grace, but also be weary of when you get into that depressed state of going into a scarcity mindset when it comes to using the apps and just take a break. I also think like this is a little bit of tea for me to spill when it comes to dating apps, but I think because it's so easy and convenient to like download and be on, a lot of people will do that straight out of relationships and meet people through that because it is convenient, but at the end of the day, are they really healed and in a place to start a serious romantic relationship? I would really be weary of the quality of people that you're going to meet on dating apps because, you might meet someone that's really awesome and like exactly what you're looking for, but other times you might meet people that just aren't in a place. They're not ready and they think they're ready, but they're not, or people that are looking for short-term things. Like there's a variety of different people and just understand that there are other ways to meet people. All right, so this takes us into number 2, which is patience and boundaries when it comes to dating. So one of the things that I learned when it comes to like this whole dating experience and like getting to know people is you need to be patient. Okay. Like I know that all over social media, in movies that we watch, romantic movies, we see that people like meet each other, they fall in love, they're like, yeah, that's my person. Like I'm ready to go all in with them. That's not how the world works. In reality, when we think about it, especially now that I'm dating in my like later 20s, I feel like people come with a lot of baggage. People come unhealed. People come in different versions of themselves. And the reality of it is you need to be patient in trying to understand them. However, you must have boundaries when it comes to this. So when you meet someone, get to know them. Give yourself the time to get to know them for who they are. Go on dates. Plan fun dates, enjoy your time together, get to know them, speak to them, analyze them, understand if this is someone you could see a potential with. Because you need to understand that people that you meet right up front are going to show you the best versions of themselves. People don't go around these dating apps and being like problematic. Well, there are some people that like will come around and be problematic, but like most people like will just show you, you know, a good side to them. So you need to be analytical when it comes to this process, but also understand that people are human beings, okay? It's okay for you to meet someone, kind of have a connection with them, and then realize that like maybe that's not for you. That's completely okay. But understand that it takes time to get to know someone. You need to invest the time and the energy and have the strength to do that. At the end of the day, yes, this process can be scary. It can be difficult to kind of feel like you're going to do this and go through this process of dating people, but just know that you have to be patient with it. One of the most crucial pieces of advice I can give you when it comes to like getting to know people and dating and being patient with it and having boundaries is you need to ask yourself if you like that person. I feel like so many times in society, we think, okay, does that person like me? Are they interested in me? Do they like me? Do they think I'm cute? Do they think all this stuff? Okay, yeah, that's all good and dandy, but how do you feel about them? Really ask yourself those questions. Stop being so invested in the other person, invested in what they think about you, and really analyze what you feel about them. Because at the end of the day, I feel like people don't do this enough. We only think about what that person is thinking and how that person is feeling and how much they're interested in us. But the reality of it is, are we interested in them? Like it goes both ways, right? So make sure that you're actually analyzing it from both perspectives and not just one way of looking at it. When dating, have boundaries, okay? Like don't just go into it and be like, okay, I met this person, they have potential, and I'm just gonna like dive into it and be fully invested in this person and tell them every single thing about me. No. Understand that it's going to take time and you need to be patient in the process. I always say this thing to myself, if this person is meant to be my person, then we have a lifetime. There's no need to rush it. There's no need to like tell them every single thing that comes into my head at every single moment. It's okay to take the time. Understand that the person that's meant for you, that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, is gonna be there. So you don't need to rush that process. You don't need to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to tell them every single thing about me and every single thing about my day. No, like it can take time. You can build that over time. Just make sure that you know if you're on the same page with that person. Because the truth of it is, a lot of us, when it comes to dating, will feel like anxious or like unsure about people because we're not receiving the correct amount of reassurance from that person. So communicate with them and tell them, hey, I'm feeling this way about you. How are you feeling about me? Can I have reassurance if you are feeling, you know, the same way about me? Talk to them about it. At the end of the day, if you state your needs and that person cannot fulfill them, that's just a sign that they're not the person for you. So you've dodged a bullet either way. Number 3, date when you're healed. Okay. This one is one that kind of hits close to home because I think I've had quite a bit of experiences with men where I feel like I've always had to tell them that they need to heal a little bit more. So one thing I really realized when it comes to like society and healing from past traumas and healing from past relationships is a lot of people don't do the work. And what I mean by this is after you've gone through a relationship with a person of significance, even if it was just like you've gone through a relationship with a person, maybe a short relationship, maybe a long one, there is still trauma there. There are still things that you need to process and feelings that you have to go through, and you need to unpack those. Because the reality of it is when you meet another person, when you meet someone that truly could be the person for you, could be someone that really checks off all your boxes, is someone that you want to be with, there's going to be a less chance of that working out because you haven't unpacked your trauma. So understand that you need to put your best foot forward. So during the time after your breakup, after your relationship has ended or your situationship has ended, or like, you know, that fling or that person that you were getting to know has ended, take the time to really heal from it. Process how you feel, process all the emotions, understand how you feel from that situation, because the reality of it is if you're not going to heal, you are going to end up repeating that cycle over and over and over again into the next relationships that you're in and sabotaging every beautiful opportunity for yourself. Look, as we grow and as we go through more experiences, we are dealt with trauma. We are dealt with different situations that make us feel different ways about things, and that's completely okay. It's okay for us to go through those things, but we have to understand, like, when we're repeating toxic cycles. Toxicity is one of those things that, like, we repeat, because we don't know better, and that's okay. We're human beings. We go through experiences, we learn different things, we, like, have to experience things to honestly learn things. Like, we're not just going to learn things by not experiencing things. However, we have to do the work after experiencing things to understand, like, what is truly meant for us and what is not. Also to unpack how those things make us feel. Because at the end of the day, the more unpacking you do, the more understanding you have of yourself, the better you can show up for that person and that new relationship that you're trying to build. And the reason why I say that is because when you're in a place of, like, healing, when you've understood yourself, you've taken the time, you've taken the energy to really understand your triggers, the things that bother you, the things that you like in relationships, you get a better understanding of yourself. And when you know yourself well, you can show up better in a relationship for you and your person. And also you know how to communicate your needs better to that person. I'm a firm believer that you can't just, like, love someone. Like, you have to learn to love that person. You have to be patient in the process of learning to love a person. So in order to do that, you need to understand yourself. You need to understand what your triggers are. You need to understand yourself so that you can show up better in a relationship with your person. I really recommend looking into, like, what happened in your previous relationship and processing everything that has happened. So do you have trust issues after that relationship? Maybe you've, like, been on a healing journey for quite some bit and you feel very, like, hyper independent and you feel like you don't need a relationship. That also needs to be unpacked. Maybe you have anxious or avoidant attachment styles and you need to, like, break those down. I highly recommend that you look into attachment styles and understand what those mean. Understand narcissistic behavior, understand past patterns, understand what your previous relationship has caused you to feel like today. For me personally, in my previous relationships, like, I was quite an anxious attachment. I would feel anxious about, like, what my partner would do or, like, how they would treat me, and I consistently needed reassurance. And after that, I really kind of healed that anxious attachment for myself and I came into a secure attachment style. So now when I meet people that are more, like, avoidant, I tend to be thrown back into my anxious attachment because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, does this person really like me, or what is going on? And that's not a good thing. But if you do the work and you do the healing and try to understand yourself well, you'll be able to pick up on those things, right? You'll be able to pick up on, is that person making me feel good? Is this a good situation that I should be in? How is this making me feel? Really understand that you cannot self-sabotage. If you keep going through life and not healing your trauma, you will sabotage every single relationship that you are going to be in because you do not have the necessary tools to make it work. So sit with yourself, understand that you're human. It's okay. It's okay to have trauma. It's okay to go through things. It's completely normal. We all go through it, but just take the time and energy to really process those things and process how they make you feel. Seek therapy, seek things that are good for you, seek resources, read, listen to podcasts. Your environment is also super important to you when you're on a healing journey. You need to be around people that bring out the best in you, that understand that this is a process that you're going through and that are patient with you in this process. So boiling down to it when it comes to healing is you need to love yourself before you can love someone else, period. When you love yourself and you understand yourself well, you can show up better for your person. So I'm going to break this down into two parts for you. One, what this does to you when you're on a healing journey and why that's good for you. And two, why that's good for your person. So the first thing is you need time and energy to invest in you. And if you're investing that time and energy into another person, you won't have time for yourself. So you really just need to, like, take the time to yourself to understand you, understand what you're going through, understand your trauma, and unpack that completely. Now, one big thing I want to say and one huge red flag I want to flag is you're never going to be fully healed. Okay, that's the truth of it. You're never going to be a fully healed version of yourself. I've done quite a lot of work, but I'm not a fully healed version of myself. And there are times in relationships or with people that I do exhibit certain, like, things that from my trauma that haven't been fully healed. But the truth is, you're a human being. You're not going to be fully healed. If you wait to be fully healed, you will never be in a relationship because we're never going to be fully healed in life. We heal every step of the way. So it's important for you to just be in a place where you're able to have the necessary tools to then build with someone and heal the next parts of you with your partner. It's very important. The second thing to healing that's super important is it builds your emotional maturity. You become more self-aware of things. You understand things in a better light. You learn to understand patterns and routines and triggers for yourself, and so you can show it better. And thirdly, it helps you get clear on your life. When you're focusing your energy inwards onto yourself and really trying to learn and understand and heal yourself, you'll have a better outlook on life. You'll understand what your goals are, where you're trying to do, what you're trying to work towards, and you'll have a better understanding of what kind of partner you want to attract for yourself. And on the other side, for those of you that are, I'm gonna fix that person people, okay? I have been there. I have felt that, okay? I completely understand. You cannot fix a person. Okay, if you needed to hear it, here you go. You cannot fix a person. The only person that can fix that person is themselves. You need to understand this and get it through your head that there is a difference between someone who is healed to a certain point where you can then work with that person to build, and there is a point where that person just has to go through the process by themselves. It is very hard to be in that situation where you want to help a person, you want to invest in them, you want to love them, you want to care for them, but they're just not in a place to receive it yet. It is so hard to be in that situation because trust me, been there, felt it. It is so difficult, but you need to be clear on yourself. This is when you need to love yourself a little bit. You need to understand that at the end of the day, faith is what will get you through it. If it's meant for you, it will fall into place. Trust me. When you and a person have a very significant connection with each other and you can see a future together, the world will not sabotage that. You'll figure it out, but just give yourself both time and space to figure that stuff out. You also focus on your own thing. Focus on the things that are good for your life. Heal from this as well. Heal the pieces of you, the wounds that have come out from that previous relationship, and understand that when both of you come back to each other in the future, you'll come back in a better place. That's my 2 cents on it. Take it as it is, because at the end of the day, understand that it is better for both of you to be apart and work on things separately so you can come together at the end of the day and be better versions of yourself and actually build something that is meaningful. Number 4, understand your value before you jump into a relationship. So I think a lot of us, when it comes to like meeting people and like getting kind of like infatuated with people, is we tend to just like kind of jump in and not understand what we really bring to the table. I need you to be very clear with yourself about what you bring to the table. I need you to understand where you come from, what you bring to this relationship, and what tools you have in your toolbox. Because the thing is, there are so many people that are in relationships right now that don't understand their value. They don't understand what they bring to the table. Are you an empathetic person? Are you compassionate? Do you care? Do you have, the things that you need to sustain a livelihood? Are you stable in your career? Are you stable in your mindset? Is your mental health and physical health good? Understand that both of these things need to be in sync. If you're a person that brings all of this to the table, why do you settle for less? Why are you allowing yourself to be placed in situations that don't serve you? You must change your mindset to abundance. You must understand that if you're in a situation with someone right now that is not serving your greater good, that is taking away your energy, taking away your love of life, taking away your inspiration to do better in your life, not being your partner in terms of, growing something together, building something together, they're draining you, they're making you feel anxious, they're making you feel all these different ways about yourself, you need to sit with yourself and ask yourself the question, what does this person do for me positively? What do they do for me negatively? And then list those out and understand what you're going to do about it. There are too many people that are in relationships because they're scared to be alone. Stop being scared of being alone. Being alone is not a bad thing. It's better to be alone than to be with someone that will never actually understand you for the rest of your life. Why would you want that for yourself? Be clear on what you bring to the table. Understand who you are as a person. Understand how much love and empathy and energy and everything that you can bring to a person. And I say this because in my life growing up, I was in so many relationships where I would bring wonderful things to the table, but these people never saw it. They never valued it. They never understood it. They took it for granted. And I continued to stay. And I stayed because I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of being by myself and, having no partner. I was like, it's better to have a partner than not to have a partner. But the reality of it is, coming out of those relationships, I realized how drained I was, how low my life felt, how I didn't have a love of life anymore. It's almost like that person took me away. I was distracted from all the wonderful things that encompassed my life. And it took me time and healing and many months of healing work to finally come into a place where I felt like I was good and I was okay and I was ready to take on, that journey of loving another person again. So just understand what you bring to the table and what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. Number 5, love is an evolution. Okay, so this took me so long to learn because I think growing up, I used to think love is supposed to be right off the bat, you meet someone and you're like, I'm in love with them and this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. That's not how love works. And unfortunately, what we've been taught to think about in movies and things like that is not the reality of the world. Love is not just instantaneous. And if it is instantaneous, it's probably not the person for you. Just saying it, when you burn a flame that quick, that person is probably not the person for you. It's a lot of infatuation, it's a lot of lust, it's a lot of ingenuine feelings, and eventually it's gonna burn out and both of you are just not gonna wanna be together. However, true love, true depth in terms of relationship takes time. It evolves over time. Love is an evolution. Love is understanding that person. It's taking the time and energy and demonstrating that you're getting to know that person. It's about learning to love that person. You are not just gonna meet someone and know how to love them. That's the truth and reality of it. You are gonna have to learn to love them. You're gonna have to learn their little things that they do and what they like and what they don't like and things that bother you, but you're able to look past, things that you guys can work on, compromise. I do believe that fights are what show you if you and that person can actually build something together. It's not about what you're fighting about. It's how you get through that fight. It's how both of you stick together, stay strong, understand each other, and respect each other to get through those fights. The truth of it is it's going to take you time to learn how to love that person. And love is one of those things that grows over time. And this is something that I feel like we get wrong in society. It's when you meet someone, okay, the first week, 2 weeks, okay, you're not gonna show up and be okay, well, I'm gonna do everything for you as I would do for a long-term partner. However, as you get to know that person and you start to open up to them, you do need to demonstrate to them that you are a good partner. You do need to act like a girlfriend before you're a girlfriend, act like a wife before you're a wife, or at least demonstrate a level of showing them of who you are going to be. Because the thing is, the title of girlfriend, the title of boyfriend, the title of wife, the title of husband is not a promotion. It's an achievement. It's something at the end of the day where you're okay, that person has demonstrated to me that they'd be a good husband or be a good wife. And so I'm going to get married to them. I'm going to get engaged to them and I'm going to decide to build a life with that person. But the truth of it is we don't think that way. And you know what? I used to not think that way either. I used to think, okay, well, I'm not going to show that person all those things because they're not my boyfriend yet or they're not my husband yet. But the truth is, how are they going to see you in that light if you don't demonstrate a little bit of that? However, one thing I will say is reciprocate energy. Don't just be the person that's giving and giving and giving and that person is running you dry. Give energy as those people give energy. Okay, reciprocate energy. If you are doing nice things for that person and demonstrating how you would be as a wife, he also has to demonstrate how good he would be as a husband and vice versa. So you need to ensure that you're demonstrating and really growing and evolving because love grows. Love isn't something that just lands in two people's hands and it's just oh, I love you. No, love is something that grows over time. It's something that we develop as two people over time. One of the things I always recommend is learn about the love languages. Learn about what they are and learn about your person's love languages. When you're dating, when you're meeting people, understand their love language because truly that is how they receive love. The reality of it is if you give them love in the way that you receive love, they might actually never feel loved. And it's crazy because even for me growing up, my love language is words of affirmation. And I've always felt when I receive words of affirmation, it makes me feel loved. But when a person's love language, let's say, is physical touch and they provide physical touch to me, sometimes I won't feel loved. Although they might be demonstrating love to me, but it doesn't make me feel loved because my love language is words of affirmation. So it really is just a matter of understanding, that person's love language and also demonstrating and giving them back their love language so that they're able to feel loved. So I highly recommend in this process, go through the love languages, understand yours and understand your partner's and try to build it in that aspect. Also communicate. At the end of the day, the person that you're with is not going to be your person right off the bat. You're going to also have to teach them how to be your person. You're going to have to teach them, hey, this is what I do when I'm stressed. Can you help me with this aspect of it? This is what I do when I'm kind of jittery or I'm anxious about things. Can you help me with this? The person is not going to know until you also show them and communicate with them how you want to be loved. And I learned this through a recent experience where I actually communicated with that person on how I wanted to be loved and they would make a solid effort. People will make effort when you communicate with them on how you want to be loved. And so that tells them exactly what they kind of need to do to show you love. Because at the end of the day, we're humans. We don't come with a blueprint. We don't come with a, hey, this is everything you need to do to show me that you love me. No, you need to communicate that with your partner. So one of the things I love to do is when I'm dating a person and that person does something nice for me, I thank them for it. I'll be hey, thank you so much for taking me on that date. I really appreciated you making that effort for me. So that shows them, hey, she likes that. She likes that thing. So I highly recommend you do that too. Show people when you appreciate things. Tell them when you appreciate little things that they do for you so that they know that you like that thing and they can continue to do it to show you love. Number 6, if it's a no, it's a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. If it's an I'm thinking about it, it's a no. You deserve someone that looks at you and says, hey, I've taken the time to get to know you. I am scared. This is very difficult. I have been through past trauma. I have been through past experiences that make this difficult for me, but I see something with you and I want to make this work with you. And so I am going to dive in. Dive in with me. Let's do it together. Let's focus and build this together. And at the end of the day, I know I have the strength and the power and the healing work that has already been done, that if this doesn't work, I will be okay. You deserve someone that's going to say that to you. At the end of the day, you need to be chosen. We all want to be chosen as human beings. We want to be chosen by our person. We want a person that is sure of us, that is clear on what they want with us, and that demonstrates that verbally and with actions that that's what they want with us. When we deal with wishy-washy, hot and cold, up and down, that's when we get anxious. That's when we're insecure, we don't know, or we feel like we're walking on eggshells. That's when we feel 1 foot in, 1 foot out, is when that person is not demonstrating to you, is not showing you through words and actions that they're actually doing this with you. There's actually something that my guy best friend says, and this is like something that is, I'm such a firm believer of this. The deeper you love, the deeper the wound. But you have to be strong enough to understand that love is beautiful. Love is what you make it. It's not what it's just gonna be. You have to water your plants in order for your plants to grow. So at the end of the day, if you have faith, you invest in the process, you understand that yes, it has a chance of hurting you. But you've done the work, you have the understanding that you're gonna be okay, you're gonna get through it as you have with everything else in your life. If that thing doesn't work out, that's when it can be fruitful. That's when it can build into something beautiful for yourself. You have to not be scared. You have to embrace the process of love, because at the end of the day, embracing that process can be one of the most beautiful things for yourself. It can be one of the most beautiful experiences that you can ever experience in life if you give yourself the opportunity, but you build yourself into a place of understanding that you'll be okay even if it doesn't work out. Number 7, and this is for the men that are watching this video, okay? Listen up, guys, listen up. One of the biggest tips I can give you from a woman to a man is you need to lead the relationship. And I'm going to tell you what leading looks like, because I get a lot of questions about this in terms of, oh, do I have to like buy her a ton of stuff? What does it mean to like lead? What does it mean to provide for my partner? This is what it is. A woman needs to feel safe with you. She needs to feel loved with you. She needs to feel understood by you. She needs to feel those things. Princess treatment is not just opening the door for her. It's not just buying her flowers every week. It's not just taking her out on cute dates. No, like both of you people together should be doing that together and understanding that you're building a relationship through experiences together. So those are just bare minimums that people should be doing in general, understanding people, being nice to people, etc. But you creating a safe space for her is what makes her want to do this with you. A woman wants to be in her feminine energy with you. She wants to be kind of like let her guard down and be able to nurture and love you. But in order for her to do that, she needs to trust you. And trusting you means you need to lead the relationship. So what I mean by this is like when you meet a woman and you want to be with her, set the ground for what you're expecting, okay? Set the ground. Be like, hey, look, whenever you feel anxious, whenever you feel scared, whenever you feel anything, come to me. Don't overthink it. Don't ever like go about your day and feel like I don't love you. Don't go about your day and feel like I'm not interested in you. Come to me. Ask me the questions. I'm here. I'm open. I'm welcome. I want to understand you. I want to make this work. That is how you lead. Lead by example. I always say this. If you really want to make something work with someone, you have to lead by example. You have to also show them what it feels like to be in a healthy relationship and break those toxic cycles. Another way you can do this for the guys is if she's not really opening up to you and being honest with you about things, or like trying to like, actually show you that she's trying to be vulnerable, you be vulnerable. Show her that this is a safe space. Show her that she can come to you. Be like, hey, I had a bad day today. Can I talk to you about it? And talk to her about it. Call her, show her interest, show her understanding, show her passion, show her love. Demonstrate that this is the bar that you hold the relationship at. And I'm going to tell you something. A girl that doesn't want to be with you is going to jump right off. She's going to be like, hey, you know what? That's too much for me. I can't deal with a guy that's being vulnerable, that has emotions, that wants to have all these things. I can't deal with that. That's too much for me. I need something easier. Let her go. Let her walk. If that's not what you're looking for, let her walk. But the women that actually want to be with you, that want to build something with you, that want to have that beautiful connection, that beautiful relationship with you for the future, are going to stick around because they're going to be like, wow, like this guy, like he knows what he's doing. He makes me feel safe. He makes me want to let my guard down. He makes me feel like I can be led in that relationship. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, at the end of the day, it is still a partnership. So both people do have to kind of put in contributed effort. But I do think that relationships where the man leads at the beginning and kind of sets the tone for the relationship are the relationships that end up working at the end of the day. So guys, Lead by example, okay? Try to understand the person, heal yourself so that you can do that for your partner, and lead the relationship. Set the tone for the relationship because it shows that you're firm. It shows that you're assertive. It shows that it's kind of sexy, when men do that. Like, you're assertive, you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, you know what your boundaries are. And the women that are not interested in that, you won't have to waste your time and energy on it. You won't have to waste your resources. You won't have to waste entertaining somebody that's not like that. And women who are genuinely interested in that, who are high value and you are high value, you'll be attracted to each other. That's how it works. Number 8, do not lose yourself while loving another person. Now, this is for people that are in relationships, maybe for like a long time, like you've been in a long-term relationship, or maybe you got out of a long-term relationship. It is so incredibly easy to lose yourself in another person. You lose your hobbies, you lose your interests, you lose, talking to your friends and engaging with your friends and all of those things because you make that person the center of your world. You cannot do that. That person doesn't complete you, they complement you. So you need to pick a person that will complement you, a person that also has things going for them, a person that has things going for them so they can share those things with you, so you guys can have those common interests. Or even if you don't have common interests, because this is something I've recently learned, opposites do kind of attract, okay? So I thought for the longest time that like opposites don't attract because I'm like, oh, why would I like someone that doesn't have the same music taste as me or like doesn't like the same movies as me or whatever? Actually, those things don't matter as much as we think they do. What matters is how you build that relationship. It's the amount of compromise, it's the amount of understanding, it's the amount of how you build that relationship to be sustainable in the future. All the little things, movies, shows, whatever, you can compromise on those. And you know what the amazing thing about it is? That person's going to show you new things in the world because you want to actually explore new things. You want to learn new things about the world and not be like the same fucking person you were last year, right? So you need to pick a partner that is going to challenge you in that aspect of trying to learn new things, trying to embark on new journeys, trying to travel to new places, whether that's music taste or food taste or whatever the case is. You really want to be in that mindset of like trying to learn new things. But the thing is, you have to have a life of your own to be able to do that. If you don't have a life of your own where you have your own things going for you, your own career, your own job, your own side hobbies, your own passion projects, your own music taste, your own food taste, your own things that you like for yourself, what are you going to share with that other person? It's literally going to be exactly the same thing over and over again. And I feel like, you want that excitement, you want that love, you want that experience. And at the end of the day, remember, those are things you can compromise on. However, love languages, understanding the other person, respecting another person, you do not compromise on things like that. Number 9, and this is something I read in a book somewhere. It said, do not hold back a compliment, but think twice before criticizing. And this is something that is huge when it comes to dating and it comes to relationships and being with a person. You need to think twice before criticizing them because the truth is you don't know what that person has been through. You don't know what trauma they've been through. So if you go ahead and you say something like, oh, you're so naggy or you're so clingy, what if that person has been said that before? What if they've been said they're too much before? Be kind. Lead with compassion. Lead with understanding because the reality is one thing you say might hurt that person and make them overthink things in a relationship with you. And then what does that do? Spiral into a toxic cycle of you being mean to them just enduring it, or them trying to be mean back to you. And then it leads to inauthenticity for both of you. Always think twice before you give a criticism to your partner to understand what they've been through too. And if it's a genuine criticism where it's like, hey, I really would like you to do this a little bit better. How about lead with, hey, when you do that, I really like that. When you help me out with this thing, that makes me feel really happy. Thank you for that. Lead with compassion, lead with love, lead with understanding, lead with positive vibrations, positive emotions. Because the truth of it is, if you're going to lead with negativity, if you're going to lead with criticism all the time, it's going to breed criticism and negativity in your relationship. That's not going to harness anything at the end of the day. So you need to really lead with that compassion and understanding and love and light so that that's what comes back to you and vibrates over to you. Remember, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And number 10, and I saved the juiciest thing for last, sex is not love. It is a wonderful component to a relationship. It is complementary of your relationship, but it is not love. This has been scientifically proven that people who have sex too early into a relationship end up not working out at the end of the day. Because the truth of it is, when you are engaging in that kind of activity with a person and you haven't developed enough of an emotional connection, What is the basis of that? It is lust. It is infatuation. And the truth is, lust and infatuation will make you think things and feel differently. And also, sometimes it clouds your judgment. It doesn't allow you to actually see things objectively for what they are. If you're trying to build a long-term relationship with someone, you cannot base your relationship off of sex. It won't work that way. You need to base your relationship off of emotional connection, of emotional understanding, emotional maturity, having the difficult conversations. That's when you and that person will really learn each other. And one of the most beautiful things about this is when you take the time and energy to understand your partner, understand who they are as a person, and then you engage in those activities, it will be 10 times better because you've taken the time and energy to understand this person, understand their soul, understand who they are as an individual. So just beware when it comes to this. And this is something that like a previous partner had told me, where they were a little bit older than me. They were quite, like, I'd say like 7 years my senior, like they knew a lot more than I did. And they told me this. They were like, sex is not a relationship. And I was like, wait, hold on. Like, why is that the case? You know, like I feel like in society and just our generation and things that we talk about, this is what it leads to, right? And this is what a lot of people engage in. And then this person proceeded to explain to me, you know, the implications of something like that and what that could lead to. And that's when I realized that's actually true. Because the reality of it is if you build a connection without having to do that first, it can really last and be something so incredibly meaningful and just add to the relationship, you know, at the end of the day. Now to the juicy little Q&A part of this video. So the first question I got was, what am I doing for Valentine's Day? So this is editing Ash here because I realized that I didn't even answer the question about what I'm doing for Valentine's Day. So basically this year I decided I'm going to take myself to a spa and just kind of enjoy like a spa day with myself. So take myself out for food. And I also decided I'm just going to do like the whole thing that I did last year. So like flowers and cake and teddy bears and balloons and all that fun stuff for Valentine's Day. I am actually single. For those of you that know, I think most of you know that I've been single for quite a bit. I've been single for about a year and a half now. Like I had a bit of like a 1-month relationship with someone, which I mean, it was a relationship, so I call it a relationship, but I guess like to other people, it's not. But I did have a relationship with someone for about a month, which taught me a lot. But since then, like, you know, I have been dating around. I have been trying to get to know other people and it's been up and down, you know, but everything gives you an opportunity to learn new things. So just take everything with like a grain of salt when it comes to things. The second question I got is, have I had any meaningful connections with people on dating apps? Yes, I have. I have had meaningful connections with people on dating apps, and I have had experiences with people where I have had emotional connections with them. At the end of the day, like things didn't work for their own particular reasons, but that doesn't take away from the experience. It doesn't take away from the level of love and understanding that was developed in those connections. So I went on a date with this one guy, like this was during the summer of last year. He said this thing to me and he was like, love is never a waste. No matter how much love you give to a person, no matter how much care you give to a person, it's never a waste. And that sticks with me whenever I go through dating experiences and they don't work out, you know, just like remembering that you can invest time and energy in a person and it's completely okay. Give that love to them. That love is theirs to keep. You don't need it. You are a radiant, beautiful, divine human being, and you will always be encompassed with love and light at the end of the day. So let that person take that love, and it's theirs to keep. My third question was, should a man actually invest in a woman that he's not dating? Yes, as we spoke about previously in understanding that like a relationship is not a promotion. A relationship or a marriage is simply an achievement. It's a new kind of thing that you guys are embarking on. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put in the work beforehand to show that person and demonstrate to that person that you are in fact going to be an individual that will meet their needs. So it is very important. But again, like I said, make sure you're reciprocating energy, okay? You're not like giving into resources and so that you're not taking a girl out or you're going out with a guy that, you know, is not even giving back to you, is not even meeting your needs where it needs to be met. So be careful with that. How to overcome feelings of sadness during Valentine's Day. Okay, so this is my second Valentine's Day by myself, being single. And to be honest, guys, like it gets better when you change your mindset. When you think about it from the perspective of, I would rather be alone right now and just enjoy my own energy, enjoy my own time and spend time with my friends instead of being with someone that just doesn't serve my needs. You have to understand that you create your own happiness. People don't create happiness for you, actually. It is you who decides that that is happiness or not happiness. So because your brain can't tell the difference, you can technically create happiness for yourself and make yourself happy. So for Valentine's Day, I would really tell you, take it with a grain of salt and understand that love is abundant. There's so much love around us. There's so many people that are in love, that are passionate about their partners, that are in these beautiful relationships, and you'll have one day. You'll have that love. You'll be in a deep emotional connection with love with a person one day. It's not right now. Trust the timing. Trust that the universe will bring that for you. Trust in the process. During this time, do what's good for you. Take yourself out. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy this time that you have for yourself, because like I always say, what if you meet your soulmate tomorrow and now your singlehood is done? You never know when you're going to be in a relationship that's going to be the last relationship that you'll have for the rest of your life. So you might as well just cherish the moments right now and just really be enjoying of this moment and this opportunity that you have for yourself. Next question, how to emotionally detach from a person that you feel connected to. So emotional detachment, one, I want you to know it's very normal to be attached to people, but the same way that we can attach to people, we can also detach from people. And I think the way that you can detach from people is to take your energy and put it into things that are actually good for you. Go into your healing. Do the things that you need to do for yourself to put yourself in a good position again. Put that energy into you. Do not put that energy outwards into them or into other people, other connections, other things to distract yourself. No. Distraction will not get you to where you need to be. You need to put it into yourself and understand that if you do that and you invest in yourself and in this process, naturally you will detach. And at the end of the day, like I say, whatever is meant for you will always be for you. It's okay. Our experiences, our breakups, our trauma, etc., is fine. We have to process them, go through them, understand them, feel them, so I can release all that negative energy, live in an abundant mindset, and attract the things that are right for us. Next question. How do I find my soulmate? So your soulmate, you can't find them. Like, the truth of it is you have to just do your thing, learn about yourself, put yourself in the best position, and allow that energy to attract the right people for you. The reality of it is the more scarcity you live in, the more you're going to push away your person, the more you're not going to be able to actually invest in that experience for yourself. You cannot attract your soulmate, find your soulmate, no matter how many times you're going to swipe on dating apps, no matter how many times you're going to try to meet people, like eventually you're going to become exhausted. And the reason is because you're putting all your energy outwards. You're not putting any energy into yourself. And you have to understand, people sense energy, okay? We are all energetic beings. I can sense a person's energy the same way they can sense my energy. There is a spiritual connection between me and another person. So the truth is, whatever they're feeling, I'm going to feel that too. Or whatever I'm feeling, they're going to have feelings of that too. So when you're meeting new people, you have to understand that what you vibrate externally is what they're going to feel, right? So if you're kind of vibrating at that low energy of, I need a person, I'm desperate, I'm this, I'm that, I don't have boundaries, I don't understand myself, I don't love myself. How can they see that you love yourself? How can they see that you have boundaries? Do you have boundaries? Maybe you need to take the time to really look into yourself and understand, do you have to develop that first? Do you have to come into yourself? Do you have to understand those things first before you can engage in a relationship with someone else? Next question, best advice when it comes to dating. Okay, so this I actually answered on my Instagram. So if you're not following my Instagram, please follow my Instagram. But there I basically just explained that love is patient. Okay, love is patient, love is kind. It takes time. It is not something where you can just meet someone and instantaneously feel like you love them. It takes time to understand a person. Pick someone that makes you feel alive. Pick someone that speaks to your soul. Pick someone that you feel like you can be your inner child with. Pick someone that speaks to you, someone that makes you feel fulfilled, someone that loves you for who you are, okay? Not who they think you are, not a picture perfect-esque person, but who you are with your flaws and everything. Someone that wants to grow with you, someone that wants to build with you, someone that you can have growth with. Pick someone like that. You will be happier with a person that truly sees you for who you are instead of you trying to be someone you're not. Another question, why have I been single for so long? Okay, because I said I'm going to answer all the questions, I'll answer most of them. I have been single because I don't want to settle for something that isn't right for me. Because I am in tune with my emotions, I'm in tune with my values, I'm in tune with who I am as a woman, and I understand what is worth my time and what is not. I have faith in God, in the universe, that whatever is meant for me will always be for me. If it's a previous connection that I've experienced, that connection will be even better for me in the future with that person. Or if it's to be a new person, that person will be even better for me. The more that I love myself, the more that I project that positive energy into the universe, the more that the universe will deliver me exactly what's meant for me in divine timing. So that's why I've been single for so long, because I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle for someone that isn't right for me, that won't give me what I need in a relationship. A person that will make me, walk on eggshells or make me feel anxious. Like, at the end of the day, you have the power to choose the person you want to be with, and that person impacts your life. You have to understand that the person you choose to be with is the person you give yourself spiritually to. You give yourself physically to, you give yourself mentally to. That's the person that, you give the power to have your children with. Do you really want that? Do you really want to give that to somebody that might not be able to meet your needs, that might not be able to love you in the right way that they need to? Maybe not, right? So understand that everything works in a formation. Everything that's meant for you will always be for you, will always come for you. Have faith, have understanding, love, project love. And trust me when I tell you, the right people that see value in you, that love you, that understand you, that want to be with you will be with you. They will gravitate towards you. They will choose you. So my piece of advice when it comes to this is be single for as long as you need to until you meet someone that truly is and has the potential and capability of being the person you want to be with for the rest of your life. Okay, so before this video is literally 5 hours long, I need to end it here. So the rest of the questions, I'll save them maybe for a future video, and I'll answer these questions when it comes to love and relationships. But thank you so much for sending your questions over on Instagram. For those of you that sent in questions, I really appreciate you. I hope that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day or a wonderful love month for February. And as usual, I believe in you. I know you can do it, and I'll see you next time.